Just thought I'd like to spend 5 minutes just talking to you about what asthma is, how it affects your breathing tubes, and how the different inhalers work that you take. So I've got a few diagrams and aids to help me. And what we say when we're talking about the respiratory system is that it's a bit like having an upside down tree in your body. So you've got your trachea, which would be the trunk of your tree, that splits into two. Each one of those branches goes into your lungs, and once inside your lungs, they divide lots of times, getting smaller and smaller and smaller as they go down. And you can see there one of those branches and the tubes getting smaller. So it's these small ones here that are the part of your body that is affected by asthma. And very simply what it means is that for some reason your breathing tubes are more sensitive than somebody that hasn't got asthma. And because they're more sensitive, they can get irritated by certain things, and then they can become swollen, and that's when you run into problems. So if we were to chop one of those little breathing tubes, this is what a normal breathing tube would look like. Not that big, okay, so they're very, very small, probably about the size of the tip of your pen. But what you have is a big space there for you to breathe through. You also have a layer of skin, which is there for protection. You also have muscles all around the tube, which are there, like muscles in the rest of your body, for strength and support, to keep that tube strong, to keep it nice and big and open, so that most of the time we don't even realise that we're breathing. It's just happening. The inside of that tube is a bit like the inside of your mouth, and if you run your tongue around, you can feel it can change shape quite easily. It's quite spongy, and that's what the inside of the tube feels like. So if we think about if you've got a cold, when you're breathing, the virus that is causing that cold will be going through all of those tubes, all through your upside down tree, and it doesn't like it. So it'll be irritated. So if I put some heavily perfumed body lotion onto my sensitive skin, I'd be, oh, that's really itchy. And that's how it feels in your breathing tubes. So it'll make your breathing tubes feel itchy and twitchy, and asthma is sometimes called itchy twitchy airway disease. And because that is really irritating, that gives you your first symptom, which is coughing. After a little while, like if I kept rubbing that cream into my arm, my skin would start to go red. So the skin here starts to go red. Our bodies are very clever, and our body will recognise that and think, well, we need to give a bit of extra support here, a bit of extra protection, so it will make that skin layer thicker. Okay, so it will become swollen. So we've now got a big space to breathe through, which has gone to a much narrower space to breathe through, so it's going to be more difficult for you to breathe, so you're going to be short of breath. We also then make more mucus, and you can see the mucus on this model, and that mucus can clog the breathing tube up even more, so you're going to be coughing up lots of mucus, maybe lots of spit, okay? Sometimes, and it may have happened when you were very small, you might be sick, and it's often sort of just lots of mucus that you vomit up. The final thing that happens is that the muscles that are all around that tube feel that they need to give some extra strength and support, so they contract and squeeze, and you get that sort of effect. So it's like somebody wrapping an elastic band around your finger, so you might feel that tightness or a pain in your chest because all those tubes are tightening. If we're turning it around, it goes from that to looking like that. So it's very red, it's very inflamed, it looks very angry, we've got lots of mucus there. One of the things about asthma is that it is a reversible condition, so we can reverse that process back to normal again. And we do that by giving you blue inhaler. The blue inhaler makes those muscles relax, the muscles open up again, and everything moves back to make you able to breathe more easily again. Your blue inhaler will work quickly. It'll start working within a few minutes. It'll be working the best it's going to work 15 to 20 minutes afterwards, but it should last you for 4 hours. Okay. The other inhaler that you take, your brown inhaler, works very differently, and that takes at least 2 weeks to start working when you start taking it for the first time, and you don't get the full impact of it for about 6 weeks. So very important that it is taken every morning and taken every night. And what it does is it puts an extra layer of skin on the layer of skin that is already there, so you've got an extra layer of protection. So if I had a thin t-shirt on and I rubbed the cream into my thin t-shirt, it would take a long time to get through to my skin. Okay, so you shouldn't react to your triggers as easily when you come into contact with them. If you miss some doses, an odd dose here and there wouldn't be the end of the world, but if you were missing 3 or more doses of that brown one a week, you might have a few gaps in that protection. So it might be, my t-shirt is old, it's got a couple of holes in it. So when I rub that cream in, most of it is going on the t-shirt, so taking a long time to get through to the skin, but some of it will get through those holes and my skin is going to react much more quickly.